Chapter 4. Apparently the strip business paid babies a whole lot better than rabbits. Baby Herman lived in an honest-to-God, balconied, marble-pillared, stone-lions-at-the-front-gate mansion, tucked neatly away in the kind of neighborhood where middle-class rubbernecks ride bicycles on Sunday afternoons. His place covered nearly enough land to qualify for statehood. The house proper sat far back on the property. A jumble herd of bib-overalled two goat gardeners puttered about the grounds, nibbling back the grass and shrubs. The ultimate tune status symbol, a human servant, in this case a butler in full regalia, opened the door. He ushered me through to a den furnished in sophisticated playpen. A Barcelona chair rested beside a rocking horse. Abstract metal sculpture straddled wobbly towers of alphabet blocks. A fine post-impressionistic painting hung just above a wooden peg supported a tatty security blanket, one end well chewed. Baby Herman, 2 feet high, wearing only a diaper, and bald, save for one dark hair sprouting from the precise center of his crown, sat in a high chair in front of the TV. A good portion of his lunch, strained peas, pureed beef, and applesauce, still clung to his chin and to the tray in front of him. He was watching his own show, giggling happily every time one of his tune foils took a clout to the chops. The butler announced me as Eddie Valiant, private investigator representing Roger Rabbit, then left me and Baby Herman alone. I had no idea how to proceed. I didn't have much of a way with kids. They generally react to me as they would to the man who shot Bambi's mother. On the TV screen, a tuxedo raccoon struggled vainly to extricate himself from the inside of a trombone. Baby Herman laughed uproariously and pounded his tray with a silver spoon, splattering the front of my coat with a fine layer of goo. I steeled myself for a long, hard afternoon. Just then, the butler returned bearing a cigar box full of robust Havanas. I helped myself, and so, to my surprise, did Baby Herman. "Kinda young for that stuff, aren't you?" I asked. "Ah!" appeared over Baby Herman's head, in the lettering style found on a preschooler's handmade valentine. He lit up and exhaled a cloud that would have done credit to a locomotive. "That's rich! Just how old do you think I am?" When he turned his head so I could examine his profile, he also twisted his word balloon around 180 degrees, thus flopping his words into mirror images of themselves. I never play guessing games. "Come on, just this once, try." "Sorry." "Okay, then I'll tell you anyway." Baby Herman unsnapped his chair and climbed to the floor where he stood, puffing his cigar, one chubby hand on each hip. "I'm 36. Don't look it, do I?" I admitted that he didn't. "Most people guess me between 2 or 4. Of course, most people don't know enough about tunes to realize at some age and some don't." "And you're one of the lucky ones?" Baby Herman plopped down on his hind end and zigzagged his fingers across the rug. "Depends on your point of view. Eternal youth isn't everything it's cracked up to be. Imagine going through life eating mush, wearing diapers, and sucking on plastic doodads." He displayed the teething ring hung on a gold chain around his neck. "And women? Need I even mention women? Here I sit with a 36-year-old lust and a 3-year-old dinky." He climbed aboard his rocking horse and began a bouncy journey to nowhere. "Why does the funny bunny need a detective? He decided to file for divorce? That what you do? Bust into motel rooms and shoot quickie photos of cheating wives?" An obscene musing encased in a fluffy cherubic balloon floated above the kid's head. It bobbled around playfully a while before impaling itself on a single wiry hair and bursting in a shower of dust that layered his shoulders with a fine powder unknowledgeable humans mistook for dandruff. He immediately conjured up a second image even worse. Roger Rabbit has a wife? He did until she left him. Baby Herman dismounted his rocking horse and waddled out from under his pornographic fantasy. Jessica Rabbit. His second vision turned to sand and dirtied the carpet behind him. Gorgeous creature. Does a lot of commercials. Wouldn't mind taking her for a hop myself. How long they been split up? I guess 2, maybe 3 weeks. What caused the breakup? How should I know? What do I look like, Mary Worth? I mind my business, let other people mind theirs. He crawled to the wall and pulled his blanket off its peg. He bundled it around his legs, torso, and head, enveloping himself so completely that only the end of his cigar remained uncovered. Confidentially, he whispered from out of the snuggly depths of his blanket, I hear she left Roger for Rocco DeGreasy. Rocco DeGreasy and a female-tuned rabbit? Sounded ridiculous, but I've heard of guys with stranger tastes in women. Actually, I'm not really interested in Roger's wife. I'm investigating Roger's treatment by the DeGreasy Syndicate. I understand you heard Rocco promise Roger his own strip? The blanket bobbed up and down. Sure, day before yesterday at the photo session, but only because the bunny was threatening to hit him over the head with his lunchbox. It was the first time they met since Roger's marital breakup. Roger accused Rocco of putting pressure on Jessica to leave him. Rocco denied it, and Roger went for him. Carol Masters, our photographer, jumped in between them and kept them apart. Rocco came up with that bit about giving Roger his own strip mainly to cool him off, but it didn't work. I never saw Roger so riled. He kept threatening to kill Rocco. Can you imagine that coming from a pussycat like Roger Rabbit? After Carol finally got Roger calmed down, Rocco offered to drive him home. He suggested they could sit down there and discuss their differences rationally until they had them all worked out. A fair and classy guy, that Rocco. Anybody else would have canned Roger on the spot. Did Roger and Rocco leave together? No. Roger stormed out of the studio in a huff. Darned inconsiderate of him. We still had half a day's shooting left that we had to cancel. Threw my feeding and nap time schedule into a complete tizzy. So Rocco wasn't serious when he offered Roger his own strip? Nope. Rocco was scared, plain and simple. When Roger threatened to kill him, I believe he meant it, and Rocco believed it too. The butler entered and gave the lumpy blanket a courtly bow.
Don't forget your 2-afternoon photo session, sir.
Right. Baby Herman unwrapped himself and stood. I'm doing some baby food spots. He ground his cigar out on the rug. I sold 8 million jars of that junk last year. My wholesome image. He extended his pudgy arms to Eddie. Carry me to my limousine? Outside, I set him into an infant seat, strapped in the right front bucket of a white Mercedes. Hey, detective, said Baby Herman as I shut the door. I like you. You come back sometimes and we'll have us a party. I'll supply the funny hats, the cake, and the noisemakers. You supply the broads. Just make sure they go for younger men. Baby Herman waved bye-bye, and his Mercedes pulled away.